Mix Media is at Future Travel Experience EMEA in Istanbul, and I'm joined now by Fiona Carleton, who is the Director of Expansion Strategy and Future Operations for Heathrow. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the panel that you were on, a sort of inspiration from different airports around the world. And in your presentation about Heathrow, you talked a lot about the right to grow and sort of creating a sense of understanding, I guess, that aviation is fundamentally good for us,
Yes.
I guess.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely started by saying that fundamentally we believe aviation is a good force for humanity, and that the benefits of it, connecting all of our countries to global trade, allowing people to travel and explore, and the kind of global interconnectedness we have is phenomenal and has advanced humanity. But equally we do recognise there are disbenefits, and as Heathrow looks to expand and build a third runway and more terminal infrastructure, we want to do that in a sustainable and responsible way.
All right. Can we talk more specifics about this project in terms of scope and size, and how many more flights and passengers it's going to bring through the airport?
Sure, yeah. We look to bring online our new runway, our third runway, in 2026, and then we will phase all of the terminal infrastructure to support that in line with passenger growth. Ultimately, we will be able to serve 130 million passengers per annum. That means we can have up to 740,000 aircraft movements per annum as well coming through Heathrow. We'll employ more than 100,000 people, and our cargo and trade traffic will be able to increase at the pace that's required.
Wow, that's really exceptional. Can you talk about your net zero 2050 plan?
Absolutely. As I said, we don't believe expansion should come at any cost or should be at any cost. We want to grow responsibly, and we want to do so in a way that's within an environmental envelope, if you like. So therefore, in the UK, there's a lot of conversation around carbon and the desire to get to a net zero carbon airport, or country indeed, by 2050. So we're taking very many real steps now to look at what it involves for us to do, and we want to very much be at the forefront in the aviation industry of having this net zero carbon airport concept and bring it to life.
Okay, and can you provide some specific examples? You shared with the group this morning some really cool initiatives and incentives that you're using for the industry, the airlines that you work with, your suppliers even.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts with the very materials we're going to use to construct an expanded Heathrow, and it's reaching into our supply chain and using the fantastic position we're in with such a large £14 billion privately funded project to encourage those people in the supply chain to use new innovative methods, such as can we get to a lower carbon concrete? Can we construct things in a way that actually requires less energy and less materials in the first instance? We have recently announced that we're going to introduce a low emission zone around Heathrow Airport, so people travelling to Heathrow by motor vehicle, the dirtiest ones, will actually be charged to do so. And moving forward, once we've got cleaner vehicles, it'll become an access charge, because we're committed to people using public transport. So we're also involved in creating new rail links to Heathrow and supporting the government in its endeavours to set up a new Western Rail access and Southern Rail access to Heathrow. So that really matters to us, even right down to our own colleagues. We champion agile working. If you don't need to commute to work, if you can work from home and use technology to allow you to do that, then let's get our own colleagues off the road as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they're not going to argue with that.
It's interesting, the reactions, but broadly it's just a different culture for people to embrace and feel empowered and trusted to do this. But it's all part of the fact that our licence to grow is linked to getting road vehicles off the road and encouraging people into public transport, and that's passengers, it's people that work at the airport, it's even about how we consolidate freight and whether freight can be consolidated further up the supply chain, so we reduce the number of freight vehicles coming to Heathrow and the surrounding cargo facilities.
I love how comprehensively you've looked at this. It's really a 360 approach, so that's awesome. However, there's still quite a bit of opposition to the expansion of the airport. So how are you managing sort of the expectations, I guess, of these groups?
So the key thing for us is we're in a period at the moment actually that runs until the 13th of September of statutory consultations. There's a legal requirement in Britain that we consult on our plans. It's also absolutely critical that we show that we've listened and we show how we have changed our plans as a result of that consultation. So we allow everybody with all their views, and we actively seek out people's views on what could we do differently, how might we make it happen, what can we take into account. And that's the process. We've actually had 2 prior consultations as well, and we've throughout this taken people's learnings and feedback to improve our plans, improve what we're doing.
Fantastic. And a couple days ago you released this plan, or where the plan is at right now, and it's available for the public to see. So where can they go to look at that?
If they go to the Heathrow consultation website, then they will see the expansion plans for a future Heathrow with a 3rd runway and the supporting facilities that allow us to grow Heathrow.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Fiona.
Thank you.